On November 20th, the city of West Hollywood hosted its annual Transgender Day of Remembrance event, honoring the lives of transgender people lost to hate crimes. According to the Human Rights Campaign, at least 22 people have been killed due to anti-trans violence this year alone. And since 2013, 128 anti-trans murders have been documented in the United States. Just as we remember the lost lives of our trans brothers, sisters, and non-binary siblings, we should also acknowledge the many victories for the transgender community. In honor of Transgender Awareness Month, we'd like to present to you the 2018 Trans Year in Review. Politics. Fans of our show should remember last month's coverage of the Rainbow Wave, the unprecedented number of LGBT Americans who ran for office in 2018, including 21 openly LGBT candidates for Congress, 4 for governor, and more than 100 non-incumbents for state legislative seats across 32 different states and U.S. territories. 2 winners worth mentioning are Lisa Bunker and Jerry Cannon, who share the honor of being the first openly trans people to be elected to the New Hampshire House of Representatives. Along with Danica Roem, they are currently the only openly trans members of any state legislature in the country, despite the fact that, according to a 2016 study conducted by the Williams Institute, 1.4 million adults in the country identify as transgender. Trans representation in politics is especially crucial in light of the Department of Health and Human Services proposal to redefine gender as immutably assigned at birth, effectively erasing federal protections for transgender Americans. Fortunately, earlier this month, the American Medical Association passed a resolution vowing to oppose this policy. A statement released by AMA board member William E. Kobler said, quote, "It is essential to acknowledge that an individual's gender identity may not align with the sex assigned to them at birth. Let's be real. Medical decisions should be left to the medical community, and trans identity should be left to the trans community, not old cisgender straight men." Television. 2018 was also a significant year for trans representation on the small screen. This year, GLAAD counted 26 transgender roles on TV, up by 9 from last year. A significant factor was Ryan Murphy's series Pose on FX, which showcased 5 new transgender characters. Trans representation in media is incredibly important since, according to the Trevor Project, 40% of transgender adults have attempted suicide. 92% of these individuals attempted suicide before age 25. Presenting transgender characters in mainstream media is an important step for normalizing the trans community, for both heteronormative outsiders and its own members. Geek culture. Television wasn't the only form of media involving the trans community, for better or for worse. Queer comic book aficionados may be familiar with Comicsgate, the alt-right social media movement lashing out against female, minority, and LGBT representation in comics. One target of these homophobic hashtag haters is openly trans comic creator Magdalene Visaggio, who has been misgendered by one Twitter troll as a, quote, "man in a wig," and has been falsely accused of being mentally ill because of her gender identity. This harassment belies Visaggio's contributions to the comic book medium, both at DC Comics and in her independent works such as Kim and Kim. This punk rock sci-fi series is like if Blade Runner and Gem and the Holograms had a genderqueer baby who decided to blast off into outer space. It's also evidence that a unique perspective like Visaggio's can resonate with gender-normative audiences, in spite of transphobic Twitter toxicity. Hopefully, 2019 will bring the trans community more victories than setbacks, but either way, West Hollywood sees you, West Hollywood hears you, West Hollywood promises you will not be erased.